first off-season episode of The Review. Today we're joined by a Bowling Green hoops legend, Justin Turner. He's the Falcons' all-time leader in points and field goals and ranks top 10 in assists and three-pointers made at Bowling Green. Justin, thanks so much for spending a little bit of your night with me today.
Nah, man, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
So first things first, again, all-time leader in points in program history. Was that kind of something that was always an important goal for you?
No, not really. I think it was just something I kind of inched away at, every year. I remember my sophomore year because I hit 1,000 points by the time my sophomore year came. And then I remember a couple people, some players, some teammates, my coaches said, you'll probably be around that scoring record year, the scoring record by the time you ready to get up out of here. So, as I got closer and closer, it was just something I couldn't really just run from or deny anymore. It was just something I just had to kind of embrace. And, honestly, I felt like if I didn't get hurt my junior year and we had a full season, I thought I could have knocked it out then. But, it still would have been tough. But I'm overall blessed to get it. So.
How were you able to work on your scoring throughout your college career and really get to that point where you could set that record?
Yeah, just repetition, working hard wasn't really new to me. I knew that once I got to college, once having the access and the resources to be able to put the time in, I know that was going to be the easy part. Getting in the gym, staying consistent, staying true to myself. Never really getting ahead of what was at stake. Always being where my feet were. So I think those were the most important things. I never really looked too far. Didn't really look behind that much either. So fortunately time came and then it kind of just happened and I just have continued to get better.
You were a fifth-year guy. So back in 2016-17, your first season, 13-19 definitely was a rough year for you guys. But flash forward 2 years later, 2019 and 2020, two straight 20-win seasons for Bowling Green. How were you kind of able to turn the program around in that way?
Yeah, man, just a lot of work. Just really believing that it was something that could be done. I remember some of them games in my freshman year, it was just a lot of team stuff and chemistry stuff and just little stuff where I saw we had to fix. And it was something that was similar to my high school situation. I was like, man, one thing that I know is that I hate losing and I'm not just a loser. I don't really go game in and game out losing and coming in a mindset that like, oh, we're going to lose. So it was just really something we sat down with the coaches and was just like, these are the things and steps we got to take to become that type of respectable program. And, they sat down with the players gave their thoughts and opinions, and it was just something we had to constantly work at. Obviously there was bumps in the road and things like that, but felt like we did a pretty good job of it.
You eclipsed 30 points multiple times in your career. And then this past season, I think it was the first game of the season, 24 against Michigan. What does that kind of say about you being able to perform on the highest stage game in, game out?
Yeah, I've always been pretty confident that I can play with some of the best. I think one of the most crucial moments for me throughout my career, especially in college, is when I went to that CP3 camp and I got to be around like the high-level players and the top guards in the country. And when I got there, and I really realized that, like, I was like, my skill set is here. If not, might not be better than some of the best ones, but I'm definitely right there as far as skill set. I know some people are bigger than me and more athletic and do dunking and all that stuff. So, when I left that camp, I kind of had a different mindset. I was like, all right, I know I'm one of the most skilled people in the country. And when we had those games, St. John's, LSU, Michigan, Western Kentucky, I didn't play against Nevada, but we played them too. And I was confident going in that I can affect the game and be one of the best players in the game.
I'll stick on that CP3 camp for a moment. Who were some of the guys that you went up against?
Man, went up against Skylar Mays, Amari Hardy, played at Oregon this past year. Miles Powell was there. The other kid from Creighton was there, was pretty good. Tyshawn Alexander. Isaiah Miller, Bryce Aikens just had Satan Hall this past year. So the list goes on. It was pretty, any good guard was there. So it was a pretty good experience.
I'll take you back. I mentioned that Michigan game. Obviously, that one ended in a loss. Is there any win throughout your career, and obviously you had a lot of them, that really sticks out above the rest?
Man, I want to say I got a couple. I got the Buffalo win when the ranked Buffalo team at home, we played them. That was a big transitional period for our program. I think that kind of stamped it to, let people know that we were, a good team because Buffalo was really good. They were knocking out high majors at the time. Another one I would probably say is my number one is Western Kentucky because, Western Kentucky had a lot of height and people on their cocktail at the time, and they deserved it. They had Charles Bassey. They had some really good guards on the team. They had an overall good team. So we went down the wire with them down in Virgin Islands, and we ended up winning. And I ended up playing really well. So I think that was another kind of game that just stamped that how good of a team that we were and could be.
Justin, I'll take it a step further. Is there any moment in your career that maybe eclipses any other moment in your past, whether it was a big shot or a big play that you made?
Yeah. The moment I'm gonna say is not even a play. I just remember it was Ohio. We played a team, Ohio. Ohio. I'm sure Jason Preston go there. But we played them last year, and the game was it was like a sellout. And by that time that year, we were starting to our fan base was really starting to pick up. We were starting to sell out games consistently. And I just kind of looked around. I'm like, man, it's going crazy in here and it's rocking. And it was interesting because I just remember looking around my freshman year and we didn't have nobody in the stands. So I just really remember that moment vividly, and I can just play it back in my head, just looking around like, man, we finally made this into an interesting and entertaining environment to play in.
Now, looking forward, Justin, what are your next steps as you eye professional basketball?
Yeah, so I'm going out to Arizona soon and starting my training for like the pre-draft stuff. I'm gonna be working out with some different teams and be constantly talking to my agency and my agent to getting the feedback of what we're hearing, and then we just gonna keep going from there and can try to keep building.
Have you heard back from any teams or any scouts at all about what they say that they're looking for you to bring and work on?
Yeah, I mean, my agent they refer back to me a lot of stuff. The main stuff of what would be my niche as a guard, as a combo guard, as per perfecting the three, being able to guard positions. Overall, always playing hard, playing smart, and whatever a team needs, and being that value to the team. So just about finding your niche and things like that.
What do you think that niche is, Justin? And I guess, how do you think that you can make it at the next level?
Yeah, I think it's going to be depend on what team it is, but at the same time, I know that I'm a natural scorer. That I consider myself to play the right way and make the right plays and make people better. At the same time, playing hard and being able to guard and do a multiple variety of things. So I feel like whatever that team's niche is and whatever I can find a role in on a team, I feel like I can do it to perfection.
Justin, I'll end on this. Is there any player in the NBA that you'd compare your game to? Maybe someone we can compare you against.
Yeah, I would always say, well, a lot of people told me this, and I kind of, really love this game and watch them just for uh, different things to look at. But CJ McCollum, I thought kind of the same size, same build when he went into the league out of college. Um, wasn't the most athletic, but really relied on skill and making shots and floaters and getting to the rim and being crafty, creative, and also being able to push the ball and run a team and be a point guard and make the plays that you have make to make your team better. So I've been comparing myself to him and maybe Lou Williams for a while. Lou Williams is also a true scorer, and you've seen him run a team and direct traffic and be an overall scorer and player.
Well, as a big Carmelo Anthony fan, I'm sure we'll both have that Portland game on later tonight, maybe, and if they got Memphis.
That's right.
But Justin, thanks so much for your time and joining us on the review.
Nah, thanks for having me.